Welcome to the video lecture on Notch Type Canal Drop in your course Design and Drawing of Irrigation Structures. So first of all, what is a canal drop or a fall? So whenever the bed slope of a channel is greater than the natural bed slope, or whenever there is a topography elevation is higher, then we need to construct a drop, a structure to safely transfer the water from the upstream side to the downstream side. So such structure we call it as a canal drop. You can see here in these diagrams. So here, so it is not possible always to get a desired bed slope. Here you can see a steep fall. So in that case, if you leave it while constructing a channel, so the energy available with water, it will erode the soil particles here. So that you need to construct a structure to release the water safely to the downstream side. So here it is a notch type canal fall. There are different types of canal falls. So it is a notch type fall or notch type canal drop. So the advantage of using this type of notch type fall is, so the heading, there is no heading up of water or drawdown of water level in a canal near the fall. That means the water level near the canal fall is constant, it won't vary. That means suppose if you want to divert a channel, means the water, if you want to divert canal from near to that, so we have to maintain certain level in the canal. So if there is any drawdown at this case, so we cannot get the sufficient discharge. And also if you want to measure discharge at this place, right, so in that case also a constant depth of flow is required, so it will not alter the water level on upstream side. So that is the main advantage in going to the notch type canal falls. So here it is in the shape of trapezoidal. So this is a trapezoid type notch fall. You can use a triangular type notch fall also. Here we will see design of trapezoidal notch fall and see what are the different components of a notch, this structure, canal drop. So a notch, generally we go with trapezoidal one because of that advantage, and a drop wall we need to construct, and the solid aprons, abutments, wing walls, return walls, and other protecting works, bed pitching, revetment to the canal on the other sides. So these are all the components. So you have to give the dimensions to this. So if the drop wall is there, what are the dimensions of the drop wall? Top width, bottom width, and what is the height required? Solid apron, what will be the thickness of the solid apron required, right? And how much length you have to provide the bed pitching. So these are all the question marks. So we have to give dimensions to these components of the structure. So let's see a model video for it. Just see the components, how the front view looks like. The notch, canal banks on either side, pitching, revetment. Top view, and see how the front view from the upstream side, how it's look like. Yeah, this is the end of the video. Next, see the design procedure. So how shall we design it? How will we fix the notch dimensions? Right? So the trapezoidal notch, so the design, it depends upon the discharge. What is the discharge which is flowing in the canal? So here the discharge through the trapezoidal notch is the summation of the discharge through rectangular notch and triangular notch. Right? So here the unknowns are, what is the base width of this notch, and what is the angle of inclination. Okay, suppose if you take it as theta by 2, we need to find out this, or here it is mentioned as it is alpha. Okay, let's make it alpha by 2. So you have to find out this L and alpha by 2. So I want this discharge equation in terms of alpha by 2 in a well simplified manner. So I am doing that. So here, if you replace 2 tan alpha by 2, no h by 2, h power 5 by 2, it is not there. So 2 tan alpha by 2 is n, and if you take generally for trapezoidal notch, you take CD value as 0.75. Okay, then the discharge equation will be Q is equal to 2.22 h power 3 by 2 L plus 0.4 NH. So this equation is valid when and only the CD is 0.75. If you take CD as 0.75, otherwise you can write it like this. Okay, instead of substituting this 0.75 value, you can just keep CD. Okay, you can just keep CD, and for now you just remember this one, 2.22 h power 3 by 2 L plus 0.4 NH. So here n is 2 tan alpha by 2, 2 times of tan alpha by 2, and h is the depth of flow over the notch. Right? Next, so here you can observe now what are the unknowns, depth of flow and this n. Okay, but in the problem we will get the depth of flow and the discharge and the depth of flow. So by knowing the full discharge and the depth related to the full discharge, you can find out of discharge Q50, that is 50% of the full discharge, and Y50, it is 0.66 times of Y100. So it will be given. So based on it we can find out Y100 and Y50, and by solving that above equation we will get the dimensions of the notch. Right? And then we have to decide the number of notches that we have to provide. So how can we decide? So the top width. So after fixing the dimensions, that is the base width and top width, after fixing the base width, that is L, and the top width T, so you have to check for this. The top width should be in between 3.4 of H, means 3.4 of H to capital H, that is depth of flow. So above the sea level. So we have to fix like this. Suppose in the first trial you have assumed 3 number of notches. After that you have calculated top width, but the top width that is calculated is out of this range, 3.4 H to H range. Right? Suppose in example H, this top width is greater than this H value. Then what you have to do? You have to increase the number of notches. Suppose it is less than 3.4 H. Then you have to decrease the number of notches. So like that you can fix the number of notches. So that's why by hit and trial method we will assume, means we will fix the number of notches such that the top width should be in the range of this 3/4 H to H. Next, the notch pier. So the central portion of this is the notch pier. You can see here. So in between notches, so there is one column like structure is there, right? So it is also trapezoidal in shape, you can observe. So this is the notch pier. So generally it is not taking any load except the water thrust, right? So if that is the case, there is no load above that notch pier, then you should take, means the notch pier thickness, it should not be less than half of the water depth. Means if depth of flow is H, then thickness of the notch pier must be greater than H by 2. Thickness of notch pier, so it must be greater than H by 2, depth of water by 2. Okay, and then notch dimensions are fixed, and then notch pier, and then length of the drop wall. Suppose if you see this is the canal, upstream canal, so its width is B1, and if you see the downstream canal, its width is B2. Now what should be the length of the drop wall? So either shall we provide like for the entire length, or shall we provide for the entire length? So one thumb rule is, so 7/8 of B1. So the length of drop wall should be in between 7/8 of B1 and B2. Should be in between these two. Right? So such that we will fix the length of drop wall. Suppose in case if B1 is equal to B2, that means the canal is having a constant bed width on upstream and also on downstream side. Then the length of the drop wall must be equal to width of the canal. Okay, then you need not to follow this one. In case the channel width is varying, then you will follow this. Right, just observe this diagram. So how the arrangement is there. This is the front view, front elevation, and see the top view. How the trapezoidal notch is there from the top. So here you can observe these arcs. Okay, means suppose if the cross section is constant, then the trapezoidal fall, it can be appeared as a trapezoidal shape, not trapezoidal, triangular, rectangular in shape. Okay, like that you can see. So two bottom, suppose this is the trapezoidal notch. Okay, notch pier. Okay, then you can able to see the bottom line, and you can able to see these two lines. So these two lines, and thickness is constant. Here thickness is constant. Okay, no radius is provided. So here this top line, this is the top line. So you can just only see these top lines. But here, to allow the smooth transition flow into the notch, so here the width of the trapezoidal notch is varying constant. You can see here width of the trapezoidal notch is higher, but here it will be minimum at the base, and also at the top it is maximum, but here it will be somewhat minimum, less than that. So like that. Right, so I will discuss it in detail in the design part. Okay, means while discussing the problem, and see this is the sill level, bottommost where sill level of the drop wall. This is the sill level of the notch pier, sill or crust of the notch pier. Okay, notch. Then profile of a drop wall. So how can we fix the dimensions of the drop wall? So generally it can be, you have to do the stability analysis. Generally we have to do the stability analysis, otherwise you cannot fix it. But by the thumb rule you can see the top width B is equal to half of the H, means the total depth of flow plus 15 to 30 centimeters. You have to increase, if the depth of flow is H, so provide 15 to 30 centimeter more than the depth of flow as the base top width of the drop wall. But if you come to the bottom width, so bottom width B is equal to, so height of the drop wall, the height of the drop wall, this is small h, so h plus h under root rho. So here rho is the specific gravity of the masonry structure. So if it is made up of concrete, then specific gravity of the concrete is 2.4. If it is made up of brick, then you go with 20, right? 2.0 specific gravity of brick. Okay, if it is made up with RCC, for example, then specific gravity, that is rho is 2.5. Rho is not the density, it is the specific gravity, right? Next, fixing the depth of cushion. So here the water is falling from certain height, right? So there is some drop between the full supply level on the downstream side to full supply level on the upstream side. So water is falling with some energy, right? So to dissipate this energy in a shorter distance, what we do is we will provide some depth of water cushion. Some cushion of water will be provided on the downstream side. So the depth of it is x. So how to determine this x value? So based on the experimentation, means for the South Indian soils, so one equation is given, x plus h2 that is H2 is depth of water on the downstream side is equal to 0.9 times of H1 under root D. D is the total drop. Okay, D is equal to drop. So it is a difference between FSL of upstream side to FSL on downstream side, or it is difference of bed level on upstream side to bed level on downstream side. Okay, either you can say it as a drop, total drop. This is also a drop. Okay, so based on this we can find out this X value, that is the depth of cushion. Next, length of the horizontal floor of the cushion. So how much length it is required? Its length is depends upon the Bliss theory, based on Bliss creep theory. Okay, so as per Bliss we have to determine the creep length. What is the creep length means? What is the path, the total length of the path which is taken by the water particle to reach the downstream side from upstream bed level. Okay, to reach the downstream side from the upstream bed level. So now whatever the line now I have drawn, it is the water path. Actually it will be like this. This line means the water particle will move across move along the impermeable strata, but for simplicity I am taking this line. Okay, so such that our design will be in safe, because here length is more, here length is lesser, then the design will be in safe. So that's why I have taken vertical path instead of inclined path. So, and the thickness of the floor. Thickness of the floor is designed, it is based on the uplift pressure. So whenever the water, there is a certain seepage under the structure, whenever there is a seepage under the structure, then the seepage water will apply some uplift force on the structure. So this solid apron, that floor level for the drop, so it must have certain thickness, right? So such that it should resist the uplift pressure, it should resist the uplift pressure caused by the water. Right? So here also we use some method, means based on the hydraulic we have to draw the hydraulic gradient line from the upstream to the downstream. Then at this place the hydraulic gradient is maximum, means hydraulic gradient line is drawn for the top of the floor level. Okay, top of the floor level. So for this line hydraulic gradient is drawn, but along this up to this point there is a counterweight, which is acting for the uplift pressure. But after this point, suppose if it is point A, after point A there is no counterweight. That means at point A the hydraulic gradient is, means the uplift pressure is maximum if it is H, which is the uplift pressure at point A. But you can see it is reducing linearly from A to, suppose if it is point C, A to C, this H is reducing. H is maximum at A. Then if you know this H, then the thickness will be H by under root G minus 1. Here G is the specific gravity of the floor material, specific gravity of the floor material. If it is concrete, then it will be 2.4. So based on that we will determine the thickness of it. So first we will assume one thickness, then we will check for the thickness whether it is sufficient or not. If it is sufficient we will go with that, otherwise we have to reassume the thickness and we have to check for the thickness. Right? So like that length of the cushion and thickness will be decided. And there is certain requirement, minimum thickness and minimum length. Suppose if the calculated values are less than the minimum thickness and minimum length, so we will provide these minimum values LC and HC, this thickness T and LC, length of the cushion. Right? So this is the detailed diagram, and see the example what data that we require. So canal drop, which is of 2 meters, right? Total drop is 2 meters, and hydraulic particulars of the canal above the drop and below the drop are given. So discharge and bed width on the upstream side and bed width on the downstream side. Here you can see bed width on downstream side and upstream side is constant, it is 6 meters. That means length of drop wall is 6 meters. And bed level on upstream side is 10 meter. Bed level on downstream side is 8 meters. So drop is 10 minus 8, 2 meters. Full supply depth is 1.5 meter on upstream and downstream side. And elevations are given. Top of bank 2 meters wide. Bank elevation is given and its width is also given on both upstream and downstream side. And ground level at the site is 10.5. Good soil, that is foundations, good foundation is available at plus 8.5. Means plus 8.5 means from MSF. So trapezoidal notch. So this in the problem itself they asked to determine means to design for trapezoidal notch. So canal discharge is 4 cubic meters per second. And full supply means FSL full supply level on upstream of the drop is 11.5 and FSL on downstream side is 9.5. And bed level on upstream side of the drop is 10. Right? It is already given on upstream side. So this is about the notch. Means here trapezoidal notch will coincide with the bed level on upstream side. So this is the minimum data required. That is the hydraulic particulars of the canal on upstream and downstream sides. Now we see how the design can we do. So come to the design. So what the discharge is, it is given. 4 meter cube is 7 meter cube per second is given. And here I am taking 2 number of notches. So discharge through each notch is, if here 2 number of notches are there, that means 2 meter means the discharge through each notch is 2 meter cubes per second. Right? And the size of the notch. How can we fix the size of the notch? So now here Q is 2 meter cube per second. And we know the formula. Q is equal to 2/3 of CD L root 2G H power 3 by 2 L plus 0.4 NH. So now I am taking CD as 0.7. In the previous, while designing I told you 0.75, but here I am taking 0.7 value. And if by keeping this CD value, you will get this one. Q is equal to 2.093 H power 3 by 2 L plus 0.4 NH. Okay. Now, see what is Q100? Q100 means discharge through single notch. We are designing single notch. Right. So, Q100 is 2 meter cube per second and full supply depth Y100 is 1.5. And Q50, 50% of discharge 1 meter cube per second and Y50 is 1 meter. How we got the Y50? Y50 is 1 meter. That is for the 50% of discharge, it will be 0.66 times of Y100. So it is approximately 1 meter. So by using equation 1, if you substitute these values Q100 and Y100 in equation 1, so you will get this equation 1, and by substituting Q50 and Y50, you will get this equation 2. And if you by solving equation 1 and 2, so here I got n as 0.21. So see, n as 0.21. So substituting that in one of the equation. So equation 1. So I got the base width of the notch, that is L, is 39 centimeters. So it is approximately. So I will provide 40 centimeters. And here n is 0.21, but I want alpha by 2. So n is 2 times tan alpha by 2. So it is 0.21, whatever the value we got. So from here alpha by 2 is 6.06 degrees. So this is 6.06 degrees. And we will check for the top width. See, top width will be in between 3.4 times H1 to H1. H1 is the depth of water on upstream side. That is 1.5 meter depth of water on upstream side. So 3/4 of H1 is 1.125 to 1.5. The top width must be in between these two. But if you check for the top width, see this diagram. So top width is, that is T is equal to L plus 2x. Okay, L plus 2x. So x is equal to H1 tan 6 degrees. So if you calculate the top width, so here we got 0.715. So top width is less than 1.125. Here we have assumed 2 number of notches. That's why here top width is lesser than it. Okay, then what we do is here the design should be, means it should be redesigned with single notch, by providing single notch. If you still get the top width as less than 1.125, then we will increase the top width. Okay, so here I am not going to do that, so I am going with 2 number of notches, right? 2 number of notches. So those dimensions are given. So it is alpha by 2 is 6.06, L is 0.4 meters, and top width is 0.715 meters. So in the examination point of view, you don't need to do it again, so one trial is sufficient. And so provide one notch and try. You can try it if you want. And come to the drop wall, design of drop wall. Length of the drop wall, so it's in between 7.8 to B1 to B1. So but here B1 is equal to B2, so we will go with width of the drop wall is equal to width of the canal, right? So B1. Suppose if you provide less than that, we will go with the minimum value 7 by 8 times of B1, so that the structure, cost of the structure can be reduced. Okay, if you want to reduce the cost of the structure, so you can reduce its width. So here I am going with 7 by 8 times of B1. You can provide full also, no problem. So here the width of the drop wall is 5.25 meters. Then top width of the drop wall, so it is B. So B is equal to h1 by 2, I told you, h1 by 2 plus 15 to 30 centimeters. So it is 1.5 by 2 plus 30 centimeters. I am going with 0.3 meters. So it is approximately 1 meter. Top width of the drop wall. Then go to the bottom width B. So here bottom width B is h plus h1 by under root rho. But here h, we don't know the h value. Height of drop wall we don't know. So to fix the height of drop wall, right, first we have to know the depth of cushion x value. So once if you know this x value, then we can easily get height of the drop wall. So by using this equation, x plus h2 is equal to h1 into 0.9 under root d. So here x is equal to h1 0.9, d is the drop, total drop minus h2. So h2 is depth of water on downstream side. Here depth of water on downstream side is 1.5 meter and drop is 2 meter. So this is the x value. So x value I got here is 0.41. This is x, right? So from here you can see the bed level on downstream side is plus 8. So 8, if you subtract this 0.41 from 8, then you will get the bottom level of the drop wall. So it is 8 minus 0.41. So it is plus 7.59. Here you can see plus 7.59. So now you can calculate the height of the wall, drop wall, 10 minus 7.59. So it is, here you can see it is 2.41 plus h1 is 1.5, depth of flow. So under root 2.25. I am taking it as a masonry. So the specific gravity of the masonry 2.25. So the bed width I got here is 2.6 meters. Top width is 1.05, bottom width is 2.60, and height is 2.41. Next, determining the length and thickness of the cushion. How can we do that? So first we will go with the length of the cushion. So here first assume the thickness of the floor. T as 0.6 meter and the hydraulic gradient HL by L as 1.4 meter. It means for every 4 meters length of for every 4 meters creep length, there is a fall of 1 meter. Means head lost. 1 meter head will be lost. So assume 1 by 4. Actually, how can we decide this value? Based on the type of soil available in the site. but here they haven't given the hydraulic gradient, so we can take value 1 by 4 to 1 by 6, right? There are different ranges are there, you can go within this range, 1 by 4, 1 by 5 or 1 by 6 you can take. So here I am taking 1 by 4, so hydraulic gradient 1 by 4 is equal to HL by L, right? So here if you see from here, what is the total head lost? It is 2 meters, means total this drop is 2 meters, so the difference in elevation from upstream to downstream side, that is itself 2 meters. Now if you check here, the total length of the creep L required is 4 into HL is 2, 4 into 2 is equal to L, total length of creep length required is 8 meters. Okay, now we will see what is the this creep length. You can see, I think it is the next slide. Yeah, this one. So total head loss is 2 meters. So HL by L is equal to 1 by 4. So 2 by L. So length required is 8 meters. So we have to check it. Means here BC is the length of cushion, LC. Right? Now you see, here it is 10 minus 7.59. Okay, 10 minus 7.59. This one, and then plus 0.6. What is 0.6? This is thickness of this floor plus the creep length up to B, that is 2.6 plus 0. It is 0.3 offset. So 2.6 plus 0.3, right, plus BC, this is the length of cushion, is equal to 8 meters. Means to dissipate whole energy we require 8 meters. But if you see how much length is required, length of BC required is 2.09 meters. So but I am going with BC equal to 2.5 meters, length of the cushion, it is LC. Right, now go to the thickness. This slide has interchange, so for that. Now you see the thickness of the cushion. So first we have to find out the residual head H1, residual head at the point B. The creep length up to point B is 10 minus 7.59 plus 0.6 plus 0.3 plus 2.6. I told you just now how to calculate creep length. So the total creep length is 5.91. So the hydraulic gradient, assumed hydraulic gradient is 1.4. For 5.19 creep length, what is the head lost? Head lost per 4 meters, that is equal to, what is the total head lost up to 5.91 length? So if you do it, the total head lost up to B is 1.477 meters. Head loss up to B. Out of 2 meters, 1.477 is lost. How much is remaining? That is the residual head. Remaining head is the residual head. So the residual head at B, H1 is equal to 2 minus 1.477. So it is 0.523. If you check for it, thickness of this apron or the floor, T is equal to H by G minus 1. So it is 0.418. 0.418 is the thickness. So provide 20% more than the thickness calculated. So it is 1.2, 0.418. So it is 0.5018. So it is less than 0.6 meters. Whatever the value we have assumed is 0.6 meters, but it is less than that. So whatever the thickness provided is safe against the uplift pressure. Okay, so the length of the cushion is fixed, means it is calculated, and also thickness is calculated. Drop wall we know, right? And next is this. Again we have to check for the minimum thickness. Minimum thickness required is 1 meter and the minimum length of cushion is 5 meters. So then we will go with these values, 1 meters and 5 meters, because the calculated length is 0.6, but here it is 1 meter minimum. So we will go with minimum thickness is 1 meter and the length of the minimum length of the cushion is 5 meter. So we will go with these values. You have to provide these values in the site. And thickness of the notch pier. So the depth of flow divided by 2, 50% of upstream flow depth. So it is 0.75 meter. Right? So go with 1 meter. Okay? Provide 1 meter of top width. Already okay. The top width of the drop wall is 1 meter, but the notch pier is 0.75 meter. Here you can see this is the boundary of top width of the drop wall, but the notch is there for only 75 centimeters. Okay, total is 100 centimeters. So here in drawing the notch, here you can see these curves are there. How to draw these curves? Right? Here the question is, suppose this is the center line of the notch. Then we know the dimensions. Bottom width is 0.4. Right? So from the bottom, this is the upstream side and downstream side. So from downstream side, means from the end of the drop wall at the top width. So you take t by 4 distance. Total top width is b. So t by 4 is 0.25 because top width is 100 centimeters. So you take t by 4, top width of the drop wall by 4. So it is 0.25 meters. So once if you get this line, right, now we have the center line of the notch. So from this point you keep 0.2 meters on either side, and we got this point, right? And we know what is the top width of the notch. It is 0.7, right? So provide 0.35 on either side. 0.35 on either side. Now we got this value, right? Now with the radius t, that is top width of the drop wall, right? The radius, fix O1, means from this point to this point, this is t. Take a compass and draw this arc. Similarly, fix O2 from this point, that is top of the notch, trapezoidal notch. So take t and you will get this O2. This is the center of the arc. So from this center of the arc, so take a compass and you can draw this. So on either side, this side also O1, O2. So like that we can draw these arcs. Here this is the nose of the notch pier, means notch. So what it will be, the radius is whatever the means the distance is there from this center point to this arch. So take this as radius and draw a semicircle. So that will be the nappe, this nose of the notch. Next, what are remaining? The profiles for abutment, wing walls and the return walls. Right? So here first go with the wing walls on upstream side, right? So here what we will do is determine h, means h is the total height of the wing wall, and provide approximate value 0.4 times of h. Actually you have to do this stability analysis for the active earth pressure loads, right? So but what we are doing here is, so fix the top level of this wing wall on upstream side. So it will be a level wing wall, means this top width and the abutment both will be at same level. Those are at bank on upstream side. If you see, the bank on upstream side is at a level of, here you can see TBL 12.5 meters. TBL is 12.5 meters on upstream side. So it is a level wing and abutment. So once if you know this level wing, top of the level wing, and what would be the bottom? So take the foundation as, means it is available at 7.6 meters, right? Then we will get the height of this wing wall. So So once if you know height, provide 0.4 times h. That is the bottom width. Bottom width, that is the base width of the wing wall. Top width, provide minimum top width. Right? On front side means where the water is in contact. Where the water is in contact, provide 1 in 8 slope. Provide 1 in 8 slope on front side. Back side, it will be fixed by the front slope and base width and top width. Okay, so the section AA. So here the foundation for the whole, all the structures will be at same elevation, that is at 7.6 meters. So here this abutment is also at the same elevation, right? So go with this top levels, same section at section AA, and also at abutment also the section is same. It is depends upon the height. It is depends upon the height of the wall. How the height of the wall will be fixed? Based on the foundation level and top TBL. And remaining is this one. So this is a sloped wing wall. So here the elevation is changing from plus 12.5 to 10.3. Here you can see this is 10.5. TBL on upstream side is 10.5. It must be, it is 10.5, not 10.3. The return wall must be provided above, means it must be at an elevation, higher elevation than TBL, or at least it must be equal to the elevation of TBL. It is the top of the return walls. Okay, so here this wing wall is changing from this upstream to this downstream. It is sloping down. It is not constant. See, sloping down from 12.5 to 10.5. 2 meters change is there. That means section will vary. But you can see the wing wall and this point both are at same elevation. So just determine the wing walls, means the section of the return wall. If you get the section of the return wall, then we know the section at this place and we know the section at this place, right? Then just we have to reduce the dimensions gradually. You can see in the bottom plan. Okay, we have to reduce the dimensions gradually. That the bottom width will change and also height will change. Top width is constant for every, means wing walls, return walls, and for the abutments it is constant. So that is 0.5 meters. Right? Here the same thing has explained here. Bottom width of the abutment. So it is same. Height of the abutment is 4.9. So bottom width required is 2 meters. And the floor is, means the basement for it is having 0.3 meters on either side. And minimum thickness of the floor is provided 0.6 meters of concrete. Right. So here base width I have calculated for the return wall is 1.2 meters based on its elevations, 10.5 minus 7.6. Okay, 10.5 minus 7.6, that is the height you will get. So 0.5 times h will give the base width. So and then what are remaining? Bed pitching on either side, upstream and also downstream side. On downstream side, bed pitching on upstream side is not required generally, but you can go with the 2 meters or 1 meter of bed pitching. You can fix it based on our experience. Okay, there is no criteria is there available to fix the bed width. So but you can take thumb rule, like the water cushion is 5 meters we are providing, so at least provide a 50 centimeters or 60 centimeters of the length of the water cushion. Okay, on downstream side. So here I am going with 3 meters on upstream side and 2 meters on 3 meters on downstream side and 2 meters on upstream side. That is a bed pitching. And revetment also. So revetment is for canal sides. So it will be slightly greater than the bed pitching, or else you can provide at the same level. So here you can observe, here a canal is there. Okay, canal is there. Width of the canal is given. It is 6 meters. Width of the canal is 6 meters, that is the base width. That means half of its width is 3 meters. See, this length of the wing wall must be sufficient to encase in the banks. So it must be encountered. This is the TBL. So it must be enter into the bank. So like that you will fix this slope. You will fix this slope. Length is depends upon see this one. What is this width? Total width. Okay, and we know this width. That is half of the length of the drop wall. Okay, then this length will be connected. So it should be provided such that this bank must enter into this TBL, means the canal bund on upstream side, and on the downstream side also return wall must encase the structure. So these wing walls and return walls will give stability to the structure, so they must encase into the banks. Right, now yeah, so just see how to do it. Just I will explain how to draw it. So here we will start from the center line. Start from the center line, and once the center line is fixed, draw a center line for this also. Okay, you fix it. Center line, I drawn it wrongly, so center line for it. So first go with the bottom plan. What you can able to see, you can see the drop wall on either side, and these lines are sloped lines. That's why here you can see these dotted lines. Okay, that means the joint is having some inclined. Here it is horizontal, but here it is inclined. You can see. Why? Because the front matter it is sloping down. And also this is also sloping down. So two lines are sloping from the bottom, means you cannot see it, but you have to show it in dotted lines. Okay, on either side. So once these points are fixed, then provide sufficient length. So from this point, see, calculate this total length. So you must have visualization. Then only you can calculate this total length. So calculate this total length, and from the centroid, so you can put this line, means from the center line, and you can draw this line. And come to the downstream side. See, you have to draw this line. This is a bottom plan, outer edge. How it can be fixed? See, water cushion. From here the canal will start. Right? So we know the canal width is 6 meters. That means it is 3 meters. This is 3 meters. So this is 3 meters. From center line it is 3 meters. Length of the cushion is 5 meters. So 5 meters and then 3 meters will give us this point and connect these two. So once if you get these two lines, then you know the width of the wing walls and the abutment and return walls. So from here, draw it, length of the wing wall. So we must encase into the TBL. So here we have to calculate this length. Right? So based on the slope and bed width, this is half of the bed width, and calculate this length. So provide means this length. Right? So we must encase into the banks. Okay? So already we know this point. From the center line it is 3 meters. Suppose this calculated this length is suppose 5 meters for example, or else I will give x. Suppose if it is x. Okay? So this length will be x plus y. Suppose encasing is y meters, then x plus y is the total length of the return wall. So then provide sufficient bottom, means you can draw a parallel line to it and parallel line to this line and connect these two. We know the bottom width of the abutment. So this is the bottom width. So from at this point you have to draw an inclined line. And on top surface also at the center line exactly you can draw these dotted lines with 0.5 meters width. Okay, so it is only possible with drawing. Okay, when and only you put on paper, then you can understand it. So after drawing this bottom plan, then you can go with the top plan. So you must have visualization where TBL is, where spoil bank is, right? Where the slope. Spoil bank means if there is any extra material in excavation, then that material can be used to create another bank, that is spoil bank. Okay, so you must have to remember these values. Minimum slope 1.5:1, like that. It is not given in the problem, right? But you have to show it. You have to show these values, these things, berms, everything. So based on slope values, you can calculate x1, x2, and these values x3, whatever it may be, and you will get this total length. So drawing the bottom, this is the mirror image. You can see this is the dotted line. This is the top plan, right? So exactly the mirror image for this dotted line on bottom plan is the top plan. Okay. So next, drawing sections will be easier once if you have the idea how a section looks like. So you just need to take the projections. It is longitudinal section, means it is the section drawn across the drop wall. If you cut across the drop wall, then it is a longitudinal section. Then if you know that means the elevation of different floor levels and wing walls and all, just by taking the projections and by knowing which end is which. See, this is the end of the pitching and how it looks like. It looks like a triangular in the sectional view. See how the bed pitching here, flooring is at 7.6 meters. So but original bed level is 8. So we will provide with some bottom slope. There won't be sudden now section view across the drop wall. From this line, section. So visualization plays a major important role here. So you have to know it. Then so this is the end of this video lecture. Thank you.